Hey guys, welcome back for a brand new video. It's getting real on today's episode. Hey guys, welcome to a brand new YouTube video. Your girl is back. We are in a brand new month. We are in April, quarter 2. It's a brand new season. We are springing forward. And I'm just so excited for what God is doing amongst myself, amongst those that are watching and that were meant to watch this video. Like, I'm so excited that you are here for another experience to learn about the God I serve, because none of this channel is really about me. It's all about the Christ that lives on the inside of me. So every time you watch a video, you get to experience more of him. Even if you don't even really know him or have a relationship with him, you're going to experience him through this video. So it was destined for you to watch so that you get an experience of the God I serve. I hope you subscribe. You have been coming back quite a bit, and you have not yet made it official. Go ahead and subscribe. Let's make this thing official. So your girl has been in the Word of God today, as well as every day. And after I was reading 2 Corinthians 12, it made me really realize, okay, God, reading about Paul and how he was talking about boasting in his weaknesses and about how his strength, God's strength is made perfect in our weaknesses, and how God talked about in this passage that we have to take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and difficulties for the sake of Christ. And I had to be honest with myself and say, am I really operating in the mentality and the perspective of that I'm boasting in the things that I don't necessarily feel comfortable in? Am I boasting in the fact that I get an opportunity to trust God in something that feels very uncertain? Am I boasting in the fact that there's so much unknown that's around me? My money is depleting, but my trust has to remain stable, and that doesn't always feel good. Am I boasting in honesty about just who God has been in my weakness and who he's going to be moving forward? And I'm going to say no. I have not boasted in my weakness enough. I have not delighted in it so that others get to realize that it's a gift and a privilege to experience a new obstacle, a new season that is uncomfortable, that has its challenges, but it's like who I get to become on the other side of this trial, of this difficulty is so worth what I'm experiencing. Is that it has an end goal. I'm not just suffering for nothing. And the end goal is not just heaven. The end goal is that there's so many more people that get to know Jesus as a result of the things that I admit that I'm weak in, right? So I want to be vulnerable on this YouTube video to really just provide a safe space for those who might be feeling the way I'm feeling, going through what I'm going through, and we can just relate together and be a community. But if I'm being fully honest, I feel very spiritually like stagnant, like I'm not feeling very inspired and driven to do what God has called me to do. I'm excited about what it could look like. I'm excited about the visions that he's given me. I'm excited about the prophecies that he's already given me that I do believe is going to come to pass. But I have not delighted in what it looks like to do the work. I have become sad when I think about what it looks like to do the work. I have procrastinated way too much. I have just been in a space where I'm not really liking what I feel like emotionally. I feel very moody. I don't feel like I'm enjoying this beautiful season that God has put me in. Because for the record, while I'm having all these feelings and emotions, a lot of good things are still happening. I'm unemployed and blessed. My bills are still being paid. You know, I'm not struggling particularly from like a serious standpoint. I have a roof over my head. I have beautiful friends. I have a beautiful church, beautiful support system. I have these gifts and talents that God is still using. But I just feel stuck in this other side of myself that does not want to accept who God has called me to be. And it's like I have good days where I feel like I'm delighting in it. And I have other days where I'm like, God, I'm not boasting in my weaknesses. I'm not being honest about it. I'm not really being as vulnerable as I should be. Even with my own community, Stuck with Purpose, I believe that I'm lacking vulnerability in areas that I need to have as a community leader. And it's bothering me. It's bothering me so much. I feel like God wants me to be honest about it on this YouTube channel, because I think a lot of us have to realize that when you've been chosen to speak to generation, when you've been chosen to deliver the gospel in such a way that it's going to literally usher in salvation and deliverance, and when God is giving you a voice that is his mouthpiece, and he's giving you the ability to see things that people have no clue that you're seeing on the inside of them, is very scary at times. And a lot of times it allows you to not feel worthy, not to feel worthy of the call. You don't even feel worthy of your anointing. And it makes you sometimes feel like you're losing your zeal because you're chosen in a lot of ways. Like your zeal doesn't look the same. So I've had to give myself permission to feel these things and be honest about it with myself as well as with God. But I'm not being as honest about it with the community that God has gifted me with. And that's something I got to work through as a kingdom citizen, as a minister, as somebody who is very passionate about the Lord. So I don't know if it's like a weird form of spiritual warfare, because I'm not the person that just wants to claim that I'm experiencing spiritual warfare if that's not what I'm experiencing. I don't know if it's like a subtle attack on like my mind and on my joy, but I'm aware of it. I'm admitting to you guys as well as to those that I love that this is something that I'm struggling with. And I'm just not being diligent in what God has called me to do. Like, I got a new podcast that is coming out. I haven't been diligent in bringing that to life like I need to be. I have a business venture that is dropping this year. I have not been diligent in doing that. It's like I'm making the steps. I'm doing a lot of good things, but my work ethic is not matching, the call. It's not matching the assignment. It's not matching the fact that God has put this on the inside of me for way too long, and I can't be afraid of it. And I think because I've grown so comfortable in getting money through just a traditional job structure, that being an entrepreneur really mind boggles me. It's like, well, I got to depend on me to make money. Like, I got to be my own boss. I got to have this discipline. I got to have a morning routine. It's like I'm sleeping in way too long. I'm not waking up with intentionality. Like I'm in the word, but I'm not in the word with this hunger like I should be. And I want to do something about it. I'm venting about it, in a mind frame of I'm not staying this way. I'm aware of it. And I just want to realize that the enemy has no authority over me, even though he's threatened by me every day. But he has no authority over my joy, over my peace. He has no authority over my work ethic. And now that I'm aware of it, I'm going to fight tooth and nail to walk in obedience of what God has called me to do. Because I wasn't given these gifts and talents to serve myself. I wasn't given these gifts and talents to receive praise from others. I was given what God has given me so that he gets glorified. And while I'm being still in him and being patient with him and being very uncomfortable because I'm not receiving income right now. You know, I have to just trust that this is all developing in me renewed character, perseverance, humility. So that way, when God elevates me to the highest degree of what he had in mind about me, I'm not going to waste that elevation serving myself or not stewarding it properly. So Paul says, especially because of the extraordinary revelations, therefore, so that I would not exalt myself, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to torment me so that I would not exalt myself. Verse 8, concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it would leave me. How many of us have begged God to take that person away, to take this issue that I have with sin away? Just take it away so that I don't have to deal with it. Verse 9, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. So what does it mean when God is saying my grace is sufficient? That means my grace doesn't lack anything. My grace does not need your help. My grace is not inadequate. My grace has the capacity to cover everything that your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions cannot cover. Because God is saying my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. God's power is activated in weakness. It's activated in a million other things, but is truly activated in weakness. So everything you are weak in, whether it's lust, whether it's procrastination, whether it's having drive, being diligent, not being lazy, whether it's fornication, lying, stealing, whatever you are weak in, and you acknowledge that you're weak in it, and you actually have a heart to not want to continue to stay like this, God's power is made perfect in that. So that means he doesn't need you to clean anything up. He doesn't need you to try to bear all of this alone in unhealthy isolation. He needs you to bring it to him, surrender it to him. Say, God, I am tired of trying to handle this thorn in my flesh by myself. And I'm not even going to ask or beg you to take it away. I just want to sit in your presence and bring this to you. Because that's showing you, God, that I trust you to handle what I know my flesh and my human self cannot handle. I was not created to handle what this is without you. I was not created to handle what this feels like without your grace. Like, I need your grace and mercy to handle what it is that you are doing in my life. Like, I need it. It's vital. And I love what the rest of the verse says. Verse 9 says, therefore I will most gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses. So to boast is to you bragging about this thing. You're delighting in it. You are truly finding pleasure in the fact that I have weaknesses that God's strength can be made perfect in. Like, I actually have things in my life that I can trust God in. Because if everything was perfect, if I had nothing to trust God in, how could he really reveal himself in me? So it's not that I need him to allow me to never suffer, or to allow me to never, have moments where I am believing for something. Like, I need to have those moments. But ultimately, I need to have evidence in every season of my life that God's grace is sufficient. That God's grace is enough. That God's presence is enough. That me spending time in his word is enough. I need that. I was created to need that. So I will most gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses so that Christ's power may reside in me. Talk about an invitation to come into your house. Meaning your temple, your body, your mind. Like, I want to invite God into this body, this fleshly, messed up body, that I feed the wrong things at times, that I, sometimes curse myself in because I'm being negative. This body that I have messed up so many times in, I want to invite you into this body by boasting in my weaknesses so that your power may reside in me. Not my power, not my good words, not my human wisdom, but your power. So that means through your power, I have God's wisdom, not my own wisdom. I have God's wisdom. Through your power, I have the discernment that only can come from you. Through your power, I have the ability to flee from sin. Through your power, I have the ability to be diligent and not lazy. Through your power, I have the ability to lay another thing down that you get to walk with me through. I have the ability to surrender something else to you that I was not created to handle and carry on my own. So I take pleasure, verse 10, so I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties for the sake of Christ. So that means I'm not just taking pleasures for difficulties, persecutions, and hardships just because I feel like taking pleasure. From a human side, who wants to take pleasure in that? But for the sake of Christ, if his name is glorified, if the end all be all means that person that's coming against my character, or the person that's lying on me, or the person that's trying to make me feel bad for preaching the gospel, if that is what I get to do, that is allowing me to receive persecution and hardships, it's worth it if it's for the sake of Christ. It's worth it. It's something that I can delight in. It's something that I can grow humility in. It's something that I get to just be still and depend on him in. Because if it's for the sake of Christ and it's not for me serving myself, it's so worth it. So I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So that means if he resides in me and I have a weakness that comes up, automatically I am strong because his power resides in me. His power is revealed in my weaknesses. His power is revealed in the things that I was not created to do alone. If we constantly boast in, I'm a CEO of this Fortune 500 company, or, I'm a self-made millionaire. I built this from the ground up. I'm a parent that, I did that when it comes to my parenting. It's okay to have confidence and give yourself a pat on the back. But first and foremost, he has to get all the glory. He has to get all the honor, because anything that you were able to succeed in, anything that you were able to accomplish, every time you think about the difficult moments that you experienced to get there, remember that God's power was activated in your weaknesses. And sometimes his power is even activated when we don't acknowledge him, when we're not serving him, when we don't even believe in him. He'll still offer his grace to those that have not even acknowledged that he's real. Like, he'll still offer that. So I'm just excited for what God is about to do through me. I'm excited for what he's about to do through all of you. And if you're feeling like me, drop a comment. Let me know, like, look, sis, I feel I'm in that season where, like, my zeal has been depleted a little bit. Like, I'm struggling, like I'm serving God, but I feel like I'm going through the motions and I'm not diligent in what he's called me to do. I'm not finding joy in it. I'm not boasting in my weaknesses. I'm not looking at the things that I don't like right now as a setup for greater. I'm not changing my perspective. So I understand what you're going through. So let's be a community and talk about it in the comments. And I just believe that God is about to really just reveal the totality of what he had in mind about us before we were formed in our mother's womb. The fact that we have not struggled and gone through all that we've gone through just for it to afflict us with no purpose. But we've gone through all that we've gone through so that more and more people get to experience Jesus. And if it's for the sake of Christ, it's worth it. So I'm going to be diligent, guys. I'm going to move in what God has called me to do. Y'all pray for me as I pray for you. And I'm just excited for what God has to come. So I will see you on the next YouTube video. Please meditate and study 2 Corinthians 12, 1-10, because it's something that will really bless you. So I love you guys, and I'm excited for where God is taking you in 2025 and in Q2. Let's have an amazing Q2. I love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it, and I'll see you soon.